From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Brayden Neville.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Ticats Today for this Thursday, July the 27th, 2023. On today's show, I will be speaking with former Ticats O-lineman Brian Simmons to discuss the Ticats' upcoming game in Ottawa with the Red Blacks. But first, we will get to some news around the team. The Ticats released their depth chart today, and there's a huge notable on the roster for tomorrow's game, and that's Bo Levi Mitchell is back at QB for the Cats. This is exactly what the Ticats fans have been waiting for. Bo Levi Mitchell, the man this team went out in the offseason to get back behind center, leading the charge. And boy, am I fired up to see him back out there. Elsewhere on the offense, there aren't any crazy changes, but Sean Thomas Erlington has also returned, and he will be backing up James Butler at running back, and we will also see him on the special teams as well. So STE will be making the return for his first game of the season. On defense, everything else virtually stays the same. Rich Leonard will once again be at the corner with Tunde Adeleke at half and Stavros Katsantonis at safety. Now, joining me now to talk about the upcoming game is Brian Simmons. Brian, big news coming out of Hamilton today. Bo Levi Mitchell returning to the lineup. How big is it to get him back for tomorrow night?
Oh, well, I would say for me, I can tell that it'll definitely open up the entire playbook again. I was at last week's game, and I just felt like the playbook wasn't as open as it probably would be if Bo was playing, and that's my personal opinion. I also think you have a veteran guy who, honestly, for him coming into a new offense, I think him watching the offense for these past few weeks, he's probably has a better understanding of how things work, and I expect him to play well. I do.
Now, in a leadership standpoint, having that guy, the big quarterback, your best player on the field, just how much of a difference does that make? Just having that leadership out there, that guy who can talk to you while you're on the field.
Oh, it makes a great difference because, these guys know he's an established veteran in this league, a future Hall of Famer. He's had a lot of success. He knows what success looks like. He knows what it takes to be successful in this league. So when you have a guy like that returning, to command your offense, it's going to give everybody just a little extra pep in their step, a little bit of more confidence. Because confidence is something that's very important in this game. And when you don't have it, you might not just have that same fire as you usually could.
It's obviously the offensive line's goal always to protect their quarterback. But when you have a quarterback coming back from injury and a quarterback like Bo Levi Mitchell, is it almost like there's a little extra, like, I really got to make sure this guy doesn't get hit?
Yes, I would definitely agree with you with that. The guy, he just coming back from injury, and you want to make him feel comfortable out there. I know this is the first time he's returned from injury, so I think that'll be something that'll be helpful for the Ticats going into the game. But yeah, of course, as an offensive lineman, you just want him to, be okay, because some defensive players like to test that injury out, see if you really recovered all the way.
So on the other side of the ball, on the other offense, we have Dustin Crum, a young rookie quarterback who's just been, on fire the last few weeks, and he's been the king of the crumb back. You see all these ads on TSN, all these posts from all these different outlets talking about Dustin Crum. What have you seen from him over the last few weeks on his little run here?
Well, Brayden, something I'd like to share with you is I actually guest coached with Ottawa this year
Okay.
with the offensive line. And I'll be honest and say, when I was there, I was impressed with what I saw from him. I spent a lot of time with the offense in general. A very quiet guy, but he does not play like that. I mean, when he gets on the field, he really turns it on. And one thing that surprised us all, we didn't know how mobile he was. Like, he really covers ground, and I think he plays well for a young guy. You can tell he's out there really, going down through his threes and stuff. So he has it going right now. They're rolling, and the crumb back. That's funny. They're doing well.
It's almost like his name was just made for this type of moment, because the amount of puns I've seen his name used in already is getting crazy. So it almost makes you feel like this Ticats defense wants to completely stop this, wants to halt everything, all the Crum back talk, all the Dustin Crum talk. It's almost as if it gives them a little extra motivation to shut it down in this game. And speaking of that defense, guy I want to talk to you about is Chris Edwards. He's been doing it all this season. Obviously, he's a fiery guy. He gets into the action maybe a little more sometimes than what he should after the play, but he's been one of the best defensive players for the team this season. Just how important is it for Chris Edwards to get in the head of this offense, whether it's with his play or just in general?
Oh, well, I'm telling you right now, I guarantee you that unit, they got their eyes on him, just like any offensive team would. I'm not gonna say he's the same type of player, but if you remember Kyrie Herbert,
Yeah.
he had a reputation of being like that. And when I played against him, I couldn't stand him. I'll be honest. But my last season, he was my teammate, and it's like you love having a guy like that on your team, And it's a thin line between pushing it to the limit and also keeping it within the game. So I mean, they'll definitely be they'll definitely be trying to say something to him, and I'm sure it'll be a fun game going into it. But yeah, I guarantee you, if he gets in the heads of guys on the offense, I could just totally see it, getting them rattled.
And how different is it for this defense to defend against a dual threat QB like Dustin Crum? I know they did it last week with Chad Kelly, but it's always just kind of in the back of your mind, like this guy's going to run. Does that kind of change the way you think about the game?
I think it does, especially when you're playing a quarterback that's younger. Chad has some experience, at the professional level playing ball, so he's probably only going to really run it when he truly feels that he needs to. And I thought the defense did a great job containing him last week. Um, I do expect Crum to try to get out of the pocket sometimes, and the defensive ends, they just have to know they have to contain. The D tackles got to press the pocket and, collapse, and you want to just keep them in that bubble, because I truly believe once a quarterback gets rolling outside, that's when your entire defense is kind of in a vulnerable position.
Now, going back to the offense, it seems as though it's been maybe a difficult task for them to score early on this Ticats offense. I don't know if they even have a first quarter touchdown yet during the regular season, but how important and how do they get in the end zone early in this game and not go down early on?
Well, yeah, that's very important, Brayden, because when that continues to happen, it kind of kills the mojo and the spirits of the guys, and you never want to be one of those teams that openly admits that yeah we're a second half team, because that means you didn't wake up, you didn't do what you needed to do, you started slow. It's like let's start fast, and it's very important for them, to. I'm not even going to say. I mean, obviously points are important, but just to be successful, even if it's moving the ball where you getting close to scoring points, but I definitely think they need to turn around and get some touchdowns going because something about team morale is very important, and it really could bring everyone up.
And those receivers on the Ticats, it seems like they have a lot of guys who can get the job done, but just how do you get these receivers going? Like when you have so many top receivers, how do you get them all into the game early? Because it seems as though every game there's maybe one target and there's a couple guys who get one or two receptions, but how do you spread the ball out and get all these guys going early?
It's tough, Braden. I mean, it really is because when you look at actual snaps per game, and then it's like of the offensive snaps, how many of those are runs, how many of those are passes, and so many things have to go well just for the receiver to have an opportunity to do his job. The lineman have to block, quarterback has to make the throw, then he has to catch. So that's a lot of things coming to him, and it's just tough. I'm not coming up with excuses for it, but I mean, I probably would implement some screen games and stuff, short
Yeah.
screens and things to just keep them active and stuff. But it's challenging, though. It's very challenging because, there's only one ball.
Sean Thomas Erlington's also coming back from injury. That's a big guy to get back. And you have Bo Levi Mitchell coming back from early injury. A few guys coming back from injury. I was just wondering if there was ever a time in your career where you came back from an injury and just what's it like coming back after missing a few games?
Let's see. I think, yeah, man, makes me feel dated, Brady. It's 10 years ago. In 2013, I tore my MCL. I ended up missing like
Ooh.
5 games. And when I came back, I felt very strong, and it wasn't the first time I had done it though. So I had familiarity with that injury, and I felt fine. For me, I just feel like if you have any doubt, you shouldn't even get back out there. Once you hit the field coming back from injury, you have to feel extremely confident. And I'm sure, Bo's probably tested out, whatever he had wrong with him, and I did the exact same things coming back. So But I mean, different guys have different mindsets. You know, you can tell there are some guys who they might be a little doubtful.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, they always say like whenever you come back from injury, at least I remember in my experience playing sports, it almost seems as though you're favoring it, like you don't want to test it at times. You're just worried about that re-injury, but yeah, what you're saying is definitely what you should do in that situation. Just
Mm-hmm.
if you're ready to go back, you should trust that you're ready to go back. Now, they're playing a division rival. Ottawa and Hamilton are very close in standings right now. Just how key and how crucial is it to get a victory here and not take another loss?
Well, I will say, when you lose more than once, you don't want to make it a habit. You know, I mean, it's professional football. Those guys get paid too. So I mean, yeah, we want to win every game, but we totally understand, there's times you're not going to be able to do that. But yeah, I mean, to win on the road, that was always my favorite part of football. Like, I
Mm,
enjoyed playing home games. I did. But winning on the road, it's a different feel, because everyone's there in the house expecting you to lose. And I don't know, it's
yeah.
always motivated me a little bit more, but I do know it's challenging team wise. But yeah, I think a win is important because you want to, get the streak rolling. Let's win three and maybe lose one. Let's set that kind of pattern. So I'm excited. I'm curious to see how Bo does in his return.
Well, Brian, I'm excited as well, and as always, it's a pleasure having you on the show today. And hopefully the Ticats can pull off a win here, and Bo Levi Mitchell can make that triumphant return we're all hoping for. So thanks again, Brian Simmons.
No problem, bro. Thanks for having me.